Well, greetings, everybody, and what a wonderful, great day it is. Yes, welcome to the show we call the Inworld Review. This is a show where we look at people, places, and arts or on OpenSim, on more particularly the Hypergrid, which is a system that connects all simulators, at least those authored in Open Simulator engine, together. So you have a big thing, a bit like the old Second Life, except that was a walled garden, whereas here, neither grids, well, not officially have walls around them. So we can go anywhere. We can hop around and find lots of new things, go revisit old things, and generally have fun, education, fun, everything you could possibly need. So we look at all of that. We do. And yeah. I've got thrown, but when I'm surprised by something, I just say, gosh, I got a phrase called goshkanolopy. I say to myself more than anything else. Thanks to James writing it down just now and everything, I've got to find an excuse to use it on air, because
I like it.
Ever used it in public. So goshkanolopy, it's the show of the year. It's goshkanolopy. Goshkanolopy was a load of canolopies. Right. Yeah. Anyway, let's be serious. Have a little bit of humor is a good idea, but not overwhelmingly so. Right. On my right, indeed. Right. He's there on my right. The right-hand man, James Atlloud. He who sits and fiddles with the knobs.
Yes. Well, yeah. Glad to be back here again, Mal. And I like that word. And now I'm thinking it reminds me of Gallifrey from Doctor Who. And I could see one of the doctors saying, "Gosh, Gallifrey."
Yeah, I can actually. I don't know about liking it to Gallifrey, but I can. Yeah, I can see.
Yeah.
I can see a particular one of the doctors.
Fun word. Yeah.
It's a fun word. Yes. So. I think there's another word I invented that's sort of not in the English language, but I found people used it a lot of. So some word I used a long time ago. It's funny how things get into the language.
Yeah. Yep.
It'd be nice to die knowing that you contributed a couple of words to the English dictionary.
Indeed.
Anyway, yeah. And also, of course, my wonderful co-host is on the left-hand side of me. She's a left brain thinker, I think. She's an artist too. We're going to find out about her creative side today, because we're going to be visiting a lot of places she's familiar with over on CraftGrid. So welcome to Tosha, Tyran.
Well, thank you, Mel. And I'm not an artist, really. I'm not an artist. I'm a bricklayer.
You're a left brain bricklayer.
Craftsperson.
Yeah, that's why I'm in craft.
That's why you're in CraftGrid, right?
Crafter. Yeah, my avatar over there is called Malcolm's Crafts.
A virtual bricklayer.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll be looking at that a bit later, not too long from now, actually, when we've had the obligatory other things out of the way. So where are we going to start? Well, we're going to start with the news bits, really, and including, as you can see on the big screen, we've got our title up for HD Safari, the Roundup. Gosh, canology, that's loud, isn't it? Sorry. Right, you're never going to want to hear that word again after today, I assure you. Right. So what are we doing? I'm saying to myself. Right. Couple of new pieces. No, I'm going to start with Hypergrid Safari itself, and I'm going to hop over to Tosha Ember's blog. No, I'm going to go to the next one and come back to that as a kind of intro. Okay, on Thursday, we went to two grids, Samson Nara on the alternate metaverse grid, and Isle of Nara on Counter Earth, which is both actually had a Japanese theme. Samson Nara being so Japanese, Asian theme region, and the Counter Earth destination is described also as a Korean paradise, but there wasn't really any indication of that kind of roleplay stuff there when we went. And so both of them had this sort of Japanese sort of flavor to them. So without further ado, this is Jana's Samsonara. These are just the pictures from Thursday's blog, so you can see what we were up to. And It doesn't want to do that, does it? Oh, I see. It's mouse day. All right. Very obvious. You can see there the Japanese influence. There we are. My keys are working. Sun Tzu for Babacon was here too, and everybody said when he arrives it was appropriate.
Yeah, it sure was.
His main avatar is the Sun Tzu character. There we are. His and things. Very. The skies look like they're sort of Los Angeles in the distance, but. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. That's not funny. But it is, but in the bad taste sense. There we go. Yeah, very jungle. Bamboo there. Lots of bamboo. Bamboo is very distinctive. So putting the work into bamboo trunks, or whatever they call. But the Hobbit feeling about that, even though it is Japanese. I've seen that.
Did you find out during your stay there if Sana is Japanese or if she just builds Japanese?
Oh, no, I think it's Yana, isn't it, or something? Something. I think, I think it's just built Japanese. The second destination on Counter-Earth, the Korean one, is actually a Japanese build, and the host there was actually called Shinji Nakahara. Unfortunately, on these, I'm relying on. Well, this is the first one in Sansanara, so flying fish or something. There, what's that fish thing? A bit ugly, actually. Very warm colours on all these slides. Actually, they're sort of consistent there. She's definitely take a lot of them. Don't even ask. don't know what that is at all. A lot of shots of just I was hanging around, actually, moving around in the case of a GIF. And
Mel, I thought the host for Samsara was Yana Dakota. Is that possible?
Yeah. Okay. Yes, Yana Dakota for this stop. Yep. Yeah. Is that you, James? It is. I recognise.
Oh yes, it is. It is. Yes.
I recognise the footwear.
Yes. I was just asking the same.
I love it. I love it.
In costume, in action too. Very nice.
Forrest Azure. I said, "Oh, I wish I could find a kimono," and Forrest graciously provided me with a lovely pink kimono, and I loved it.
A lovely pink one, yes, indeed. And you just snuck behind the rock and had a quick change, no doubt.
Yep.
Very good.
I change in public. I have underpants on, so I don't mind changing.
Until you accidentally click take off on those too.
They don't come off. They're painted on.
Oh, they don't come. Oh, system, eh? Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Courtesy of Ye Olde Second Life before the Teen Grid got their hands on it.
That's right.
I always find it funny. It's the Teen Grid that actually managed to remove the underwear, not the adult grid. Right. Well, both in the end. A nice long shot there. Yeah. Very moody. There's a close up of everybody trekking up the stairs. That's a good little GIF, actually. As GIFs go.
And those gates were wonderful. It was a great approach. This was a great safari with lots of walking, and James likes to walk.
Yeah. Yep. In this case, climbing too. That was quite a lot. Well,
yeah,
it wasn't that long, but it was
this bridge.
And then when we get to the top, then there's another gate, and we all had to walk through that, so to speak. And then that took us to somewhere else completely. I don't know. I'm not watching films, so I don't know. This is probably not in sequence. Yeah, I think that's after we'd gone through the gate and walked around a bit, we came to this mini garden. And the prototype figures. I've got a feeling that the other costumed lady, costumed person inside that may even be Petlov. Can't be sure. I think I recognise those pants she's wearing, but she.
Oh yeah, those are her pants. That's Petlov.
Yeah. I've just about gotten used to seeing her avatar wearing glasses in Open Sim, and there we have a picture without. But there you go. Yeah. And more of it. There's 28 pictures I'm going through here, actually. That's good. That's a lot even for Thursday. Oh, this was fun. You end up going down. You can't tell, but it's very hard to maneuver, in fact. But the top there, you're coming down to a load of mist. And it's like that Indiana Jones movie where you have to, like a leap of faith. You have to try and go into the mist and hope nothing happens. And then, of course, you actually find you're on a staircase to a lower level. But I, needless to say, have great problems finding the staircase. I kept on getting a Visiprim where there should have been a mist. There we are. Yes, this is nice too. And the waterfalls coming down the side. Is again lots of water, as you'd expect when you're lower down. Contrast, of course, is the flames of the torches. More flames, a bit more of the mist above there. And I don't know who that is. Maybe that was... No, I don't think that was Yana.
That's our host. No, that is Yana.
Oh, that is Yana Dakota. Yep. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So I got it wrong then. Well, yeah. And yeah, final clip there, as it were. So I would remind you, we're showing you slides from Tosha's blog, which is at hgsafari.blogspot.com. And this is a 2025... Never mind. I keep forgetting we're in February now. It was posted at the end of the week in January. Right, okay. Then we moved on to the next one and her report from this one. Come on, get me out of here. Oh, maybe it's not having any. Okay. So the second blog was Fish Love Money is the name of the blog. Don't even ask. So this is not Samsara. This one is Isle of Nara on Counter Earth. And the host here was Shinji Nakahara. So not quite so many pictures of this, but it was, I don't think I remember Safari when we had two Safari stops that were actually visually, at least, you could believe you'd walk from one to the other. And in fact, I teleported ahead a little bit so I could res for taking film. And I landed where my mouse is in front of that picture. It's just a picture on the wall there. And I thought I hadn't left, if you see what I mean. I thought, hang on, why didn't that teleport work? But of course it had done. I was in a different grid entirely, but it just felt so similar for that immediate point. Okay. So a nice picture there anyway. It was of the two, this is probably a little bit more disappointing, but if it would work better the other way around, maybe, I don't know. But that Japanese theme is always nice. Tina Bay there, I always recognize her because of her sort of slick costumes, actually. And inside here, this was all very somebody's
very beautiful.
About racing to the throne. And me being witty, I said to James, I'm going to get to the sit before you do. All hell broke loose. I bumped into a wall. I bumped into this. I bumped into everything. My navigation abilities, even for my avatar, are pretty rotten. So somebody got to the throne before me, and James even found a sit before me too. So that's life, isn't it?
That's life. I was on a meditative pose, though. I think I was. It was not the throne. It was more of the
actual throne.
Contemplative position.
Yeah, very exotic and stuff. Looking at
beautiful, absolutely beautiful textures. It was really wonderful.
This is actually where this sim excelled over the previous one, because the previous one was more an outdoorsy sort of place and atmosphere, whereas this, of course, has got the interiors
and a city design.
Yeah, and as they say, they advertise it as a Gorean paradise, but there's no real hint of Gore.
Other than the welcome area, which had some Gore text and words. Nothing in the sim made me think of Gorean activities or.
And somebody was snapping me. Clearly snapping something else, or interested in that poster. I can't remember it actually. And again, no. Pet Love in the Pants.
Mm-hmm.
And the red hair, of course, we can't miss that. Is that a Thursday or isn't it?
That's a
It's something
Thursday.
like
That's one of the
it,
Thursdays.
it's one of the Thursdays. Yeah, it's funny saying that. Yeah, there's there was a story behind these dolls. In fact, I think you'll find it talked about on the blog. But
Yeah, they're little idols for wedding, and so there was people that have weddings will have these tribute icons and statues, and so
Mm-hmm.
it's to have a good feeling and experience of a wedding. I thought that was very interesting.
all right, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have. Yeah, the great, lovely ornaments and things for any manner of
Yeah.
speaking. But
I really
yeah,
wonder. I know nothing about Japan, Japan. Oh, next to nothing, let's say. But I wonder if areas like this that you find here, or the other one, also, they really exist in Japan still, or if they're just old, so old that you don't find them anymore.
Mm,
They're
I
like
hmm.
think they do.
museum.
Yeah.
I think they do. I've never been to Japan, but and there's lots of this architecture around. I think it still does exist. I mean, even in big cities like Tokyo and things. I'm trying to think of a good example. I mean, in London here, it's there are places like Soho and parts of the city which have that very old time feel because the city is sort of built up around them, but the original is still there. And I think in Japan
No,
certainly,
but I think Tokyo was completely destroyed during the war, and they needed so
we,
much place. Before, Tokyo was like a garden city.
Hmm.
You know,
yeah.
was very
When they,
beautiful. Had a lot of place, small houses, and a lot of gardens. And I think there are only some streets left that
yeah,
have still gardens. Or well, that older people, they still like their gardens. They just put pots of with plants outside of their apartment buildings doors, so they make their little gardens, which are actually not gardens anymore.
I would imagine things like this exist away from the cities, but I mean,
Mm,
They're
I think
historically preserved.
yeah,
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 yeah.
and sort of Japanese architecture is a particular kind of style. So even in the modern age, they still build things a bit like that.
It
So,
could be in villages, no?
yeah,
I
yeah,
wonder. I've never seen anything on a picture about Japan that looks anything like that. These houses with the paper walls and all
yeah,
that.
Hmm.
I've never
yeah.
seen anything like that
Yeah,
in
I don't know whether they
reality.
still don't know whether they still
I
have
was
paper.
just wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is, a fantasy depiction, quite obviously, but the style
Mm,
is there.
mm.
And over nearby here, actually James saw it when he was in London. I took him there. We have one of these Japanese gardens,
Hmm.
where the water represents the sea and
Oh
the
yeah, oh
water
yeah. But
represents
Japanese gardens
yeah,
are famous, and you find them everywhere, even
yeah,
in Germany.
the-
But I think the style is so beautiful. I think it's nice to conserve them, and it's nice to
yeah,
build them virtually,
yeah,
anyways.
Yeah.
So you can get the flavor of it.
yeah. Whereas yeah, it beats all these modern buildings that look like spaceships.
So the
But I
title of this article is at the end we were talking about the koi, and someone was saying that fish, the word koi means love in Japanese, and it also means
Oh,
money in other
ah,
instances. And
ah,
so I said, "Wow, fish love money. That's my new song," and that became the title for this
yeah.
posting.
ah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Okay, okay. Yes,
Fish
she's
love
okay.
money.
I can't pick up the text bit of this actually, but so she's taken your quote from the chat and made it into a
A title.
yeah, very
That's a
sweet. So
first. That's a first for me.
another credit for James
That's
there,
right.
indeed. Right now, okay, that was only two trips. So I've got one more post here, which is basically just an advert. We were talking about this before we came on. This is the 27th of February, and then again on the 3rd of March and the 4th of March. And
They're
can't read.
different things. The
Yeah,
first one is, as you can see, the costume party.
yeah,
The second one is what do you call it?
The parade.
When all the cars pass.
Oh, parade.
Oh, the parade. Yeah, that is the parade of Rose Monday. And the third one is Nubbelverbrennung. That is funny. That is the end of Carnival, and especially in Cologne, they have some. I think it's like a guy, a little guy, or more than one, and they call it Nubbel. I don't know why, and they burn it,
Oh,
and that
right.
Oh,
This is
okay.
like the Burning
signifies
Man
the
or
end of
Guy Fawkes
Carnival.
in England. Yeah. Good old tradition, burning an effigy of a man. So all this is happening on Pangea Grid, which you can see at the bottom there. If you can't read it, it's PANGEAGRID.DE and then colon 8002 and then colon and it's KOELN. Have I got that right? Is it an L? It looks like, no, it must be. Yeah, it's an L. It's got to be. Yeah, so I'll keep that. Well, I'll copy that picture so we've got it around for next couple of weeks until the thing actually happens. On Thursday's blog, she's also gone to the location where it will be happening and just taken a few. Obviously, the same thing advertised on a big billboard there. Slightly more colourful background to that version, and big religious kind of structure. And
Oh,
that's probably a nice quick picture of a parade. Then you can see that,
I
and then
just found something funny about the Nubbel, the burning of the Nubbel.
yeah,
That happens always the end of Carnival,
yeah,
and they burn an effigy, yeah, of straw mostly,
yeah,
and there come monks, carnival monks,
yeah.
and preachers and nuns, and they um, they make a loud and funny speech, um, accusing the noble of all the strange things that have happened during the carnival. That people do crazy things,
Mm-hmm.
and so the noble is responsible for all of that, and that's why they burn him in the end.
All
And
right.
with that, all the responsibility gets burned and erased. I think that's a funny detail. I did not know that either.
It's a nice idea of finding one single person to blame and then burning them at the
Yeah.
stake. Yeah.
Dum, dum.
Very good. Right, these we were talking before we came on about how boring it is to actually stand at the side in real life or virtual actually and just watch floats going by, so to speak, which is presumably this is from previous year. But what's interesting here, because it is safari, is that there's one particular vehicle that did stand out a little bit, and that's this. It's the good old wreck of a safari bus with engines.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh
There
really?
I don't know where she keeps this, but it's you just see it around now and again. So, I mean, it's appropriate, isn't it? It's quite a good one, and of course the leopard or the leopard skin creature is up top there, sort of its head hanging out of the bus. So yeah, great fun, great
And they
fun.
are called floats. Is that right? Did I
Floats, yeah, we
understand
call
that
them.
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
we call them floats too.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, I don't know. That particular bus is floating. It's more like rocketing. It's more like a hovercraft look, but we'll see. Yeah. So that was nifty. Right. Now, what order to do this in next? I've got various things here. Yeah. Okay. I will come before we move into craft anniversary. We're going to move here. Now, I've got something rather special here we're going to look at. Also released, you can get it on Alternative Metaverse Landing and their website, I believe. But I was able to download the latest issue of Blah, Blah, Blah magazine, which I should be able to get up. There we are. How does that look on the screen? I think it's about the
Yeah, it
right
looks
fit.
fine. Yep.
Yeah. So, got to find the control panel for it. Where's the controls gone? I know. I've got to use my mouse wheel. Okay, here we go. So that's the latest issue, Winter 25, and it's dated February 2nd. So it's literally about a day or so ago. Not really cheating here because there's no way I can show you the whole magazine to read, but I thought visually we can get an idea of it. Considering the early issues, which were quite short and whatever, this is a pretty jam-packed magazine now. List of contents, well, what can I say about that? Too small to read there, but you're going to see those anyway. Oops. Okay, a bit of self-promotion for Alternate Metaverse Grid. OpenSim's Hidden Gem. Gosh golly. Gosh Ganollopy, really? Yeah, got myself a Ganollopy end, didn't I? Obligatory ads. It's going rather quick here. Okay, an article on romance and love in the Alternate Metaverse Grid. Nice picture there. It looks more like an AI picture than an actual photo from the grid. But it's a nice picture. I love the way the foliage is shaping out a vague heart kind of shape on that. So how to start your journey. Again, you need to actually load this as a PDF to actually have it big enough to read. But nice pictures here. Discovering an area called Daydream. That does look rather nice, actually. It might be worth a visit for not our new regions, but interesting ones. A community of love. The Daydream Ballroom. Just something about this bit. I love the way this is all on a very, very dark background. It's sort of, and the text is in white and stuff, but it really brings out the color of the color pictures, I find, much more so than your standard white or cyan background. Aqua, I mean.
And it is that color because the whole magazine is themed love.
Yeah. True.
So it's red.
I remember the previous issues where they stylistically were the same. Anyway, 13 and 14. There are a lot of pages to this, about 80, so I'm not going to linger, but a very nice looking building there, the Illusions Ballroom. Valentine's Dream, Elegant Ballroom. It is, of course, a couple of days, about a week or so away from Valentine's Day, which is 14th February. So I suppose it's, they seem to have stuck quite a few Valentine type locations in here, but they're all look lovely locations, Valentine's or not. Yeah. Here we are. That's a bit more arty for sure. Serralo de Magor Club Romantic. Well, is that romantic? I don't know, but nice looking club, isn't it? Matter of opinion, really.
It depends on the eye of the beholder, I suppose.
Indeed, yes, that's the way to say it. Venus's Playpen Spa and Wellness Center. There you go. Don't know where the water for the spa is, but it looks nice enough. And more. Oh, hang on. Oh, my mouse went the wrong way, I think. Did it? Yeah, that's right. So more about the Spa and Wellness Center. There's the spa bit, obviously. There we are. No, nice long shot. This is something called the Elizabethan Garden. That looks rather nice. I can imagine close up, it's even better. It looks like they've put a lot of detail in that. I know it's a long shot, but you can sort of imagine you're able to walk around on these levels, should we say. More long shots of the Elizabethan Garden. A serene fantasy for all, they call it. Tribute to Queen Elizabeth II. Now, she, of course, was the Queen of Blighty, my own country here, Britain, and, of course, the world, the Empire and Commonwealth and everything else. Once upon a time, I think when she took the throne, she was still... There's still a fraction of the empire left for her, but anyway, it was nice that they've done a little tribute for her. I'm not quite sure. Well, it's called an Elizabethan Garden, so I guess the name is the tribute. There we are. Rendezvous, an adults-only paradise in A&B, of course. Freedom and fun for all. Discover hotspots at the Rendezvous. Right, so that's a meeting place with lots of hotspots, I guess. And that's the bit called wet. indeed. Explore the wonders of Rendezvous, and then you've got a whole list. Yeah, I mean, you've got to admit that this magazine is a bit of a PR for AMV these days, but I mean, they've sure got a lot of stuff to show off, so why not? Guidelines for respect and consent. This is for the rendezvous point, presumably making a point of saying this is for adults. And actually, this looks so familiar to. We were just looking at the slideshows from the other places, but a bit more of the old Japanese look here. So it's popular for design. The city, CD urban role play in the sky, coming soon, it says. And we're not super keen on CD urban role play, are we, Tosha? But who knows? Until you see it, you never know. I've got visions of one place we went that didn't go down too well. Hang out on the beach. The secret garden at Koifon, right? It won't be secret much more if people read the magazine, but there you go. That's the name of the region. So if you're on Alternative Metaverse, go to Koifon. I will probably pop over there and get some video of some of these. Now I know what places to look for. Japanese gardens, bathhouses, and a tea house. That is very much what you think of as an interior, a simple interior of Japan, isn't it? More about love, more about Valentine's, basically. A guide to shopping for Valentine's on which grid was that? Oh, yes, AMB. Who would have guessed it? Oh, gosh, canola people. Sorry about that. Okay, Sugar Fairy Sugar, introduction to their love story. Okay, well, oh, which is no sweet. Sorry. Grey Wolf's Landing. Okay, this is another love place. Groundhog Day. This is a thing, isn't it? So I know very little bit about it, but this is a real life sort of, well, it's something that's celebrated, I know, in real life quite a bit. It's probably like Halloween, totally strange to us in Britain.
It's I would say, if anything, it harkens back to pagan traditions, springtime. I think it's pretty much in the United States, and of course we wouldn't admit that, but it's letting an animal tell us, is spring coming soon or is spring coming late? And the groundhog, groundhog comes out of his den, and if he sees his shadow, he's frightened and he goes to sleep, and there's more winter.
6 weeks more.
That's right.
Yes, I know.
So I don't get that. So when he doesn't see his shadow, it must be dark.
Oh, there's no sun. It's overcast. And so there's no bright shadow.
I don't know. This is funny because we celebrate that on Craft Grid each year.
Uh-huh.
And there's the mayor of the town and all those honorable men of the town are standing around, and then there's that little the little hut with the groundhog in it. And then at some time, the door goes open, and then the groundhog comes out. And sometimes it has a shadow, sometimes it has not, I don't know how they do that or who makes that, but, it's funny.
Yep.
They've got a list on the side here, which you probably can't read. February theme. I think it's ideas as well as the real thing. So February the 1st, National Dark Chocolate Day. National Freedom Day on the 1st, Groundhog Day is on the 2nd, National Hedgehog Day is on the 2nd, so is National Tater Tot Day and the National Ukulele Day. Mm-hmm. Fast forward to February the 8th, you've got World Nutella Day.
Oh, my.
February the 8th, National Kite Flying Day. National Make a Friend Day, February the 11th. International Day of Women and Girls in Science, February the 11th. Abraham Lincoln's birthday, February the 12th, and Valentine's Day on February 14th. And apparently the month stops there. Great. Moving on. Okay. Oh, they're having a love fest. Gosh golly, February 13th. So they have a love fest on the day before Valentine's. And prelude to Valentine's, presumably. All right. Open sim, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I thought that was going to tell you where you can get it, but I mean, presumably they know you're reading it, so they don't bother to tell you. Uh, um, Unforgettable memories at OMG wedding venue. Well, we don't say OMG, we say Goshkanolopy.
Like
They've obviously,
Penelope.
they've obviously named that wrong. Goshkanolopy wedding service. Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah. This, I wish they'd bundle all the wedding bits in the same part of the magazine so I could skip it. Right. American Resort, Perfect Honeymoon Escape. Oh, that really does look like a hotel brochure, doesn't it? More honeymoon locations. Oh dear. More wedding venues. And we're on page 83 already. So the obligatory ending, the cookery book bit. Jam tarts, sweet potato peanut curry, and that's it. And there we are. If you want the web page for the magazine, oh, great. Okay, as you can see, it's a string of numbers. So you have to click on it to get to the page.
I
But
suggest just go to the alternate metaverse welcome area, and there's a kiosk right there.
The landing area
Yep.
has all of this stuff there. So I thought that would be it's taken
So
a
you
while.
find it also in Open Sim World.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. It took a while to get that steady, but I mean, so it's a nice touch actually, especially 84 pages of it these days. And surprisingly, very little, apart from the fact it's all advertising AMP to a great extent. Unlike some of these things that have about 20, there's like Second Life fashion magazines, and the editorial starts on page 100. You've got to slog through 99 pages of adverts before you actually get to the magazine. Emulating certain real life things too, I think. So that was that. And what else have I got? Okay, before we move back to craft, I got a little bit of light relief first, I think, actually. I've got two films from Karima Hoisan again. One is part 2 of the pirate story.
It's a humid, balmy dawn. After that last late night rain, the vapor rises from the moorings. It's now way past dawn. Tropical, but mystical. It really does go hand in hand, like you and I on the Boulevard del Mar. Tropical, but mystical. The reflection of the sun on our face. My hand slides up and down your skin, so smooth, your marble arms. Unconsciously, there's crazy changes in my heart. Let me sail with you. You are the beauty, Bonnie Brave. You are my future pain. I saw you in the past, and now you're here. But someday, you will be gone. And through all of this, the insects keeping rhythm with their feet, this entire scene will trill away like a dream once dreamed. You prove to me when all the elements are in place, they can cause an event that will rock a world and bring it down. Before today, it was just a theory. Now it's way too late to deny. The birds flap on the high. My heart almost stops when I see you smile. But no, this is not the ending. I do not accept we are being ripped apart. And I will shout it to the last star dying on the morning sky. No, this is not the ending. I do not accept we are being ripped apart. My heart knows the truth. I'm going to lose you one of these dawns. You will kiss me goodbye and promise to never disappear. Then take your last breath. Like the waning night sky being eaten by the encroaching day. I know I have this in store. It's something that I'm waiting for. I can see the future, and in it I stand alone. Take this water, for example. Did you or I have to climb up those rocks and push it over the edge? No, of course not. That's right. It just flows. No need to do anything. But accept the truth. Water flows. You can take your straw and start to drink, and poetry will begin to flow through you. All you need to do is drink. Trust me on that. Oh, I love surprises, whiplash changes, unexpected angles, controversy, precarious ledges, speeding butterflies. Believe me, always mix it up, don't go dull. And please don't repeat yourself. Never ever fall into a rut. Oh, I try not to, but I think you have a lot to do with that. I mean, your taste in things is so varied. You have the most eclectic taste of anyone I've ever met. You jump into your next passion project and you pull me along too because, well, I always say yes. Well, of course you do. You know now very well who I am, and that is something that makes me happy and loyal to you. You are just so willing to do what I ask. Your obedience and trust has always been rewarded, and you create. I trust you on that, well, on everything really. I just have learned so much from you, and you've never let me down, it's true. But sometimes I do get nervous that what we have will just come to an end someday. Okay, listen now, it's my turn to talk. Your fear and lack of trust will stop this very nice momentum we have built up over the years. The more you fear and worry, the less you will create. Oh, I know you're right. Sometimes it's easier said than done. Listen, it must be done. You must learn to trust and then take chances and never doubt where I am leading you. I give you my word. I will take you to places that inspire, that will light you on fire or make you dream under a bewitching sky. I'm happy I can tell you today, our day, how much I enjoy being your muse. And the fact you saw me so quickly, it didn't take long at all for you to realize that the ideas, the timing, the rhyming were first mine before they were yours. And then you wrote them down, put the notes to sound, laid another brick upon the ground. I really do love that about you. You have always given credit to me. Always. Even people would say, oh, well, you know, the muse is you. But you know, the muse is me. And you and me are a partnership. I think this has been a good day for us both. Oh, it's been an amazing day. Thank you. Thank you. I feel so much better. Good. And I just want you to know, I will be with you always. Just one thing. Don't ever say no to me. I won't. Trust me on that.
I really can't get enough of Karima Hoysan there. I mean, her voice, her words, and the filming, quite entrancing actually. So a double dose there, and it took us about, well, anyway, nice to have a little interlude there before we get back to.
He has a good hand for making these films.
Yeah,
They're
should
just
show
quite
us.
beautiful and surprising. Very different kinds he makes.
Yeah, very unique, basically, I think. Okay, now let's move on to where we should have been a bit earlier, I think. The other thing that last Sunday, of course, Hypergrid Safari website, hgsafariblogspot.com, had a post announcing that during this last week, it's Craft Grid's crystal anniversary. And we did talk about this a little bit last week, and we thought, well, Thursday and I decided live on air, well, we're going to go in there and have a little film, especially with her regions. Yeah, I don't really need to come back to that. Right. While I was showing those other films, I've been getting quite a few Inworld messages saying, come and join us for this, come and join us for that, as people in World that want to do. But of course, they're all actually still happening over on Craftbreed. One of those things, and okay. These I'm not going to show an hour and 15 minutes of a concert from when would it have been? Friday, I guess, 31st. Yeah, I think that was Friday, by Valor Quest. Oh God, I can't remember his full name. Benetto. Yeah,
Velasquez.
Yeah.
Velasquez Bonito. Okay. Anybody who came to the HIE event last year will be very familiar with one of his performances, and he does quite a few on Craft Grid anyway. So this is just an example of, he, I forget exactly what he's doing and whether he's wearing half of this or resin different bits, but basically the party's going on and he's giving it a visual accompaniment. There are some sort of, you've got to put up with this. There's Tower we were talking about. You've got to put up with interface showing and things like that in some places, but it's good to capture. You'll better find this the actual whole film on YouTube. But if you follow my OpenSim feed on Mastodon, then there is a direct link there, which will take you to the exact YouTube page where this is actually lurking. So here we go again. I'm going to bypass all the rest of the Safari stuff, and I'm going to move into this folder that is appropriately called Tosha Craft. Right. We're going to talk you through this, I guess. This is starting with where we landed on Craft, and this is actually CARP, Cybernetic Art Research Project. This is the Metaverse Museum. Well, I'll let Tosha start talking us through here, because I know when I was filming, I was getting a long commentary, wasn't I?
Well, that is the Museum of the Metaverse, which was started by Rosanna on she had it quite a few years in Second Life, and she moved it over here when Craft started into existence. I think just then Rosanna, a little later, Rosanna came with her, moved her museum here. And it was quite an interesting place. It is now too, but after a while it calmed down and there was not much to see. And but now she works together with Velasquez Beneto a lot, and they do great things there. Great, beautiful exhibitions. The building is gigantic. You know, it goes over, I don't know, 5 or 6 stories, and it's really quite surprising. And practically every artist that has a name in the open sim has had an exposition in the Museum of the Metaverse.
I remember you kept on saying, come over here, so you can look and get an idea of the whole size of the place. And certainly some of the pictures later on show how vast it is. Of course, the problem is finding anything.
Yeah, it is a little bit, for my taste, a little bit chaotic, the organization. It's wonderful, and maybe it's got to be like that when you have such a huge place, you know. But
I like the teleport
yeah, you
system
have.
they have. That works well from level to level.
I don't know if that's a
Yeah.
teleport system.
Okay.
There is one that I noticed somewhere. So
I'm
you've
not
got to find
sure.
that too, of course.
But I find it wonderful, and you know, it's a great thing to discover artists and the work of artists. It's really, and they have expositions that are themed, you know, like on on the climate change, on war, on violence against women, on all kinds of things, you know, and that's really quite fantastic things.
Yeah, as we go through these films, we'll be seeing quite a few bits of your work. In fact, and somewhere, of course, you showed me what is actually a replica of your very first build, isn't there? In this, I think it's in this area.
Oh, yeah, well, my very first build there, yeah, but that's not necessary to be shown. Go on.
We'll find out as the film rolls. Yeah, you can see.
But it really is a gigantic place, and if you really want to see things there and want to appreciate it, you have to take some time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, even filming in camera, you know, so coming across something like that, and you know, walking around it is one thing. Moving your camera just to shows it's in 3D is another. Yeah, it's you only get half the effect when you're on film. This gives. That was where we actually landed. First of all, I see my avatar down there, dwarfed by the size of the place. Right, so that was the first bit of film. Basically, I was just filming for a little bit, and then we were moving on. So I would actually not so much pause the film, but actually cut it and then start another one. So this next one, quite short. This is where we move to next. I love that effect of water puddles on glass. Very odd.
That is the place, an exposition of Kapkat Ragu.
Right. Yeah, another well-known name, and another name from HIE too. Kapkat.
Yes, yes. And Kapkat is not only a great artist, but she's also a professor of art at some university in I think in Lisboa in Portugal. And all her work she does is always designed to teach. You know, it always has something to do with the education of her students, and I think most of the things she she creates together with the students.
Aye.
And I think that's really quite interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot on some of those posters there to read and stuff. So obviously we can't zoom in and read it all on film, but yeah. That, however, is AI, I swear. I love those. I've seen those before, but I love those trees, which are sort of psychedelic blobs for leaves. There we are. Moving out a bit. As you pan out and stuff, you really get an idea of the scale. Oh, very colourful. I love that one. Somebody watered that tree with something interesting. I know, the bit underneath is great too, actually. Some of these pictures are rather odd, so that looks like a little bit of place, but I suspect it's an AI generated image, although it looks like a marvelous sort of, university hall or something like that. There's a colourful tree again. I'll shoot ahead a little bit here. Oh, yeah. Hello. Christmas is over.
Forgotten Christmas tree.
Oh, we put a Christmas tree there and we forgot about it. We just have to call it art. This is a Chicart. Maybe, well, I don't know if it's AI or fractal. It looks a lot of it looks more fractal-like. Very strange cats here. Very strange cats indeed. And colourful too. It's very funny moving around in some of this actually, because when we arrived, and in a lot of the areas, we're on a sort of grey floor there that looks very. You can see the texture there, but I kept thinking, oh, this hasn't rezzed yet. This hasn't rezzed yet, and then I cammed into various places, and lo and behold, no, it has rezzed.
The grey floors.
Those are nice ones. Chicago, get more fractals. So, of course, you really have to visit here to, not only admire all this art, but read all about it too. There's no way you can do it justice in 50 minutes of film. So this is too, like, there's a couple of images on the wall there that are like almost building height, and then you've got these other ones in little cubicles too, and you sort of walk around the gallery, then look up, and there's another one, giant one on the wall. The old thing, you suddenly pan out through a wall and. What is art? Good question. Good question. Forever asking this, aren't we? Okay, that's nearing the end of that one. That's very odd. I'm not sure what the expressions on these faces really represent. 1 minute I'm thinking, oh, horror, and then others they seem to be smiling or enjoying themselves. Don't really know what that was about.
So strange. You and I did the same visit, and we saw completely different things.
Yes, well, exactly. We're all fairly close by. Oh, here, I think I decided I'll do a follow job on you, which means I click on your avatar and wait for you to move.
That was where I told you, I think, to look down.
Yeah, this is where you brought me along to the edge of a bit and then told me to look down, let alone up. And, so I'm trying to move the camera down a bit there to get the whole width of it. But I mean, at the bottom, you're going to end up in the area. You've got the water level right at the bottom too, so it's pretty gigantic.
We didn't really appreciate how high the thing is.
Yeah, there is one shot which I managed to pan out as far as I possibly could, and it still fills the whole screen. So. Yeah.
It is really huge. Yeah.
Yeah. So many of these logos too, very familiar. The carp and the doubtless and whatever. Yeah, there was cybernetic art research. That's what I was. Never remembered the full thing. Ooh, a bit more Japanese in there. You've been here, James, I take it. Well, you knew about the teleport system.
I might be confusing it with another museum, though. I went to another exhibit on craft, but it was about women, a women artist. But I think that was a different location.
Yeah. That's we filmed for an earlier show.
Right.
Maybe even a safari.
And I have been to Museo for other openings and other artist presentations, but it's equally vast.
Yes, yeah, it may be here. There are some some bits in here. I'm just going to pause that there. Well, the idea is I pause it long enough for you to actually read it. I'm just going to quickly pause that though, and I'm going to go back up to OpenSim World. When I was looking for an actual region, I can't remember where we went, and Tosha was teleporting me here and everywhere. But there is a region called Alana, supposedly on Craft World here, 2 years ago, and it's in the Sea of Jack, endowed with an atmospheric old port stores, and especially home to the arts and cultural activities of Metaverse Museum and Carp again. You can find many special things from circus to an original avatar store, etc., etc. And I don't know whether this is the same, but basically they list a lot of the artists.
I think the exposition about the women, that was, I think, Women Zero Violence, right?
Yes, that was it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was also a part of the museum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's vast. It's enormous. Yeah.
Yes, it is enormous. And what Rosanna does, she collects the things that were on exposition years ago, and she still exposes them here.
Wow.
She just puts them into smaller places or something like that. It's really amazing what she does,
Mm-hmm.
and what she and Velasquez do together. That's really something else, and here for the ones like me that can never find its way, there's a very good teleporting system. I missed that. I did not know that it still existed.
These boards were showing all the different artists working there. I mean, there's different levels basically, and the teleport you can click on there.
Yeah.
So some of the same artists seem to be on multiple levels because they're very familiar, but just you can just get an idea of how many artists are exhibiting there. Some familiar names, and actually, as you said, Tosha, I mean, neither of us knew some of the names. They just some are obviously more, if you dare use the word famous, than others, but a very wide range of things here.
Yes.
I think I took a long while looking at that sign, didn't I? By the look of it, yeah. No, there's another area. Who many of these people are, I don't know. There's CapCat, of course, and Art Blue. Well, where wouldn't Art Blue be? Oh, I love that sign we saw earlier. I don't think we mentioned it, where they misspelled your name. You were Tosha Tyran.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I haven't even noticed that.
You didn't say, I thought you did. I pointed it out. So you're on multiple levels here.
Effectively, there are quite a few people that are not active anymore, or at least I haven't had any contact with them in a long time anymore, which means they still preserve their works of art or
Yeah.
their exhibits, and I think that is very cool
Yeah.
to do that.
You can imagine this museum having a grid of its own one day, which is thousands of regions of archived, virtual world art. At the moment, all this stuff is probably barely. There can't be much here that's more than 10 years old.
Actually, I think it was started by Rosanna as sort of an archive, like a thing to preserve works of art that were made in OpenSim,
Yeah.
or produced or created in OpenSim, and so that's how the museum came about, and that there are actual events and happenings and stuff like that is fairly new, and I think that was something that, well, there was a little bit of it before, but not very much, and that really happened so much and takes such a wide place. That has to do with Velasquez.
Yeah. And the other thing, the nice thing about archiving this, obviously somebody's deciding what's worth archiving, but in Second Life, for example, it's so sad that, there are regions in OpenSim where people have imported stuff from Second Life for posterity. And of course, you've got Lumiere Noir's region too. But it's a bit of a shame because it needs somewhere to actually put the archives and put the builds. And of course, it's fairly cost effective. It's cheap to do it here. I mean, so much is actually lost in a world like Second Life because they can't afford the region, and before they back it up, it's gone, and never to be recovered unless somebody can get into the Linden Lab surface.
And that is one thing that I love, especially about Craft, that Liko, as the owner of Craft World, he really gives sims and places for things like this. He leaves it without cost. The
Yeah.
Museum of Metaverse, or the Four Sims of Ivory Tower, and things like that. You don't. Oh, we don't have to pay for them,
Yeah, this isn't the women area, but this actually is like they're like little set pieces about international conflict and violence and things. It's not the women one, but very good. And yeah, we also have to thank Lika, of course, for hosting the Hypergrid International Expo. We moved to a different grid now, a dedicated grid, but how many have we had? 4 to date, all of which Lika hosted here. Compelling, that one. Climate change, global pollution. I just love the way this is. I think I've seen this in its original context, actually, and it's just been moved here. There's a lot of them like this.
I think this is from Tina Bay.
Ah,
Typical of her.
Yeah, it could well be now I think of it.
It's very dramatic, I
Yeah.
think, with these black waves and the people there trying to get out of the water.
Well, of course, later on where we moved on from the museum, there's a film coming up which has got the refugee camp you showed me with again. Well, you played down what was floating in the water, of course, but we will see that when we get to it. Okay, so this clip is nearing its end. So then we moved on. There we are. 2 solitary avatars dwarfed by the expanse of this building. Stay in the same place here, in fact, where we start. Strange.
That is funny sometimes when I do some building, I stand there, and when I look at my builds, and I like to build large, and I stand there and I think, so Avatar dwarfed by its own buildings.
Yeah. Yeah. It's well, why not? Why not? Nothing like a sense of scale. An artist many years ago, he used to do science fiction book covers. I used to work with him a bit, and he literally, he had little worked in acrylics with little brushes, and he used an airbrush and a coin to create a sort of star in space. But he'd have these giant sort of space cities, and when you zoomed in, there was nothing there. It was actually just little taps of light with a yellow with his brush, but he did it at such scale that as you moved out, you thought, wow,
Yeah,
it's a bit like seeing a big painting these days and then zooming in and think great, and oops, I see pixels. Here we are, Creation of Woman. I think this is different, but again, it's on it's in that same area. Looks like my camera went the other way there, but interesting. Of course, I have no idea what that says. Something about silence.
We are the cry of those who have no voice.
Right.
So just translated Italian, huh?
Yes, a bit more of that, please. Stop. Yes, I zoom in and it says stop. And come no further. So what do? I zoom in. Yes, of course. There are bits where I move around here and you see similar things. And I think that's the same artist, but I'm not always sure it is. I sometimes get, not so much Tina, but Cherry confused, but there's another less well-known name who's, I don't know, his style sort of confuses me sometimes. We moved on completely now, but look at it. Not quite sure where we moved to. There we are. This is not a face. I don't know the meaning of that, but the famous McGree painting of the pipe, and it's called "This Is Not a Pipe." And there's a whole story about that, proving apparently that it wasn't a pipe, but it was. Very odd, but got a bit of Einstein in there. So odd juxtapositions. I wonder who those are. They look slightly familiar. Even I recognise those. Well, they're not avatars. They're probably Animash, actually.
Animash, I suppose so.
NPC. That's a nice little painting. This is Naughty Face. Stop. There it is again. Stop. Stop where you are. And of course the fist there. Yeah, there's a lot of women's orientated stuff here. I don't think I got that.
There is this group, Women Against Violence. They do a lot of, they are very active those last couple of years, maybe. They're really very active. And then, of course, they have a lot of exhibits and they work a lot and they have a lot of events too, you know.
Yeah.
Also readings and presentations, but of course they're mostly in English, in Italian, and that's why I kind of go sometimes, but not so often. If it's only a reading or only a talk, then I don't go because
I think I went once, probably with Thursday or something, and we tried to film something which was one of their performances, and of course I couldn't get to grips with it at all. I just roamed the camera around. I couldn't get to grips with the language, basically. Just made for some pretty pictures, but people stand reading on stage or doing stuff like that. It's not the most enticing. A nice picture of us there. A bit of lighting coming from somewhere. Right, I think this must be. Oh yes, this is the end of this film actually. So it's the prelude to the next one. Right, the next one's a bit there. Right. We are still in the museum here, right? But this is the one you were telling me about. Was the early one you did?
My first work that is about 10 years ago. I made that, and that is, you know, the pipes of the underground that kind of fascinated me, and I wanted to give them life. You know, I made them like figures and dancing, and of course at that time there was no animash and no NPCs yet.
Right.
So they just they
hang out. Yeah. But yes, but the pose itself. There's a very interesting photo. I've seen it blogged quite a few times, or might be Facebook even. When was
in the original, there were all rats crawling around there, but they must have died during the
they ate each other. Yeah, no, I think it's what was it? Was it Vesuvius that exploded? Oh God, I can't remember. Alexandria. There was a whole civilization wiped out by a volcanic eruption, and these days they've managed to go into the lava, and where the bodies have decomposed, right, it's left a hollow in the shape of whatever the body was doing or bodies were doing. And they've now recreated those as sort of sculptures and things, and they've caught them in the very moment when, you know, the lava hit. You know, there's people in bed doing things they do in bed, and there's other people walking around, and somehow, you know, it was all so quick that they were just frozen in time a bit. You know, so you can imagine them, you know, being like statues, but in a pose that was an action at the time of that disaster. So Oh, no, this is great. I was on the wrong side of this until you took me. This is the side I'm meant to go into, right?
Yeah.
So look at this. We walk in there towards the light. This is the darkness side, sort of thing. Oh, actually, I've got to wait a bit before. Yes, I didn't realize I was meant to go further. You called me back to do that properly in a minute. More of that Japanese style architecture popping up as well. I think it's the same clip here where you call. Oh no, it's probably another clip where you call me back. Yeah. Oh, there it is again. Oh. Yeah, it says. Oh, that's your thing. This the other thing. Oh, that's done. Move up. Ah, right. Now you have quite a lot to tell me about this. Is this still? Are we still in?
Oh no, now we are in craft store.
Ah, yeah. Okay, so we moved from the museum to the craft store itself, and yeah, this is a quick teleport to the various areas on the map.
Well, the whole craft store is organized in small islands.
Yeah.
And so by the map you find on each one of the islands, and you can go from one to the other. And these girls with their posters in their hands, they are what do you call it? They are teepees to other
Oh yes.
areas of craft. And you
Right.
find them in every shopping area of craft. You find this group of girls.
Oh, this touches that area there. Is the actual landing region of craft.
Yeah, it's
We started
the welcome
adjacent.
area. It's a little old-fashioned
Yeah,
and is being renewed.
being rebuilt. Yes, yeah, that's good. That strange slide pathway or something. Yeah, I was running around in camera to pick up various islands, I think.
Yeah, all the things are like in the waves. They're all, and the builders of me, but the things that are there to be sold were all donations of other people. Most of it. Some I made, or Siberia made quite a few, but most of them are just donations from others. But it's like also it needs to be renewed.
Yeah.
And I reclaimed that with Liko and Tao. I said, "Oh, let's, we have to get some more new things into the store." And they said, "Yes, we wanted to renew it." I said, "Do it. I won't."
Send them to the museum, send them to the archive, and build
Yeah.
a new. Why not?
But
That's
it's still a place that is very much visited from all over, um, from all over the open sim, really.
Yeah. There we are, moving on a bit.
Just again, the welcome.
Oh, we're back on Hydro Station, yeah. Seeing a bit of the multiple islands from the air, but it does go on and quite a bit. Bit of music there. So presumably these, can you just pick up these things? Are they also free to take it? Talking, right, good. So
Everything that you have there, you can just it's out for sale. For
when we get to the Ark, I remember taking one of those wonderful chairs. But of course, it's in my craft grid avatar, so I'll have to go with this my main avatar and get another copy.
Now this has nothing to do with. This is a sim of Art Blue, and what is the girl's name that works with me?
A good point. Yes, I know. Tip of my tongue job. Art
Yeah.
Blue.
Surreal dreaming.
Yeah, Juliet.
Exactly.
Yeah, Juliet.
They had when Thirsa quit the Safari, they said they would do something like that, like Safari, and for that they made this sim, but it was pretty much a flop. I think after 3 days, after 3 times as well, practically nobody went there anymore, and they left it, but the sim's still there.
Yeah, preserved.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
Crafted all these islands with the white rims with the white borders.
Right. Oh, they're like parcel borders.
Huh?
You said the white
No,
borders.
no.
Right. Yeah, I get you.
The white edges.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
And well, you find really everything, the whole gamut, but it's like I said, it's also a little outdated. These are all animations, but there are no bento animations. I didn't.
Right. Yeah, but that bento animation is fairly new.
Yeah.
It just allows you to animate more of the control points, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yes, and this is sort of where we started on this piece, isn't it? Yeah, I like the idea of that sort of the map. It's only actually when you look at the map you realise what's there. Like the furniture zone is higher up, isn't it? The building zone is on an upper level. So.
No, the building zones I think are higher up. The other ones are on the same level, and this is the historical craft shop. All the things that were in there, they're all system clothes and stuff like that. Yeah.
I've gotten clothes there.
I've gotten
clothes there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish when you purchase something in Open Simulator, the identifying information, I wish it could tell you where you purchased it, because I'd want to go back and see.
And this is the building area, and this I like very much because, when you click, then another house gets rezzed always if it works well.
Yeah.
It needs to be controlled continuously.
I didn't actually want to try it, but there's another mini map there. I've got one of those military tents somewhere. It was part of a build I made somewhere. Oh, right, that's the end of that one. So moving up. Right. Oh,
now this is Noah. Noah altogether when I think.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Later on, you took a full screen shot of the whole. It is a gigantic ship. It is as big as one sim.
Yeah. This is actually where I took a seat.
It's full of plants and animals, and down here are all prims. And then later on, I made a platform with all mesh animals that people gave me at that time.
Yep, giveaway there. I clicked on the wrong thing or tried to buy it, forgetting I was filming. I don't know. It's definitely got flapping wings. It's in a flap. It is. Another colourful flowers here, really. Ooh. Every colour under the sun and a few others. Oh yes.
And
Well,
and
we that's
when
a
you
minute.
go
That's
in, I always put pairs of everything,
yeah.
of every animal. Going in there, you go in there and you find all kinds of animals, really from the zebra and the cows and every walking animal. Later you find snakes and monkeys and all kinds of things in other corners, and you can go down, and downstairs you find
This this is funny. I'm so following you fairly successfully as we
uh,
start, and then I lose you in the water somewhere.
yeah, you find the
Yeah,
water with all kinds of underwater
yeah.
plants
It's
and
literally
animals and fishes and stuff, but I
yeah.
think it's more down yet. Yeah.
Yes, go quite a way, yeah. Yeah, because of the way we landed and started walking around, I hadn't got a full visual effect of the arc in
Yeah.
the water, which I get
You, d-
later. I
you
get
didn't even catch that it was really a ship, no, did you?
oh, yeah, I
In the
did,
beginning.
later on when I start zooming
Yeah.
out to get an
Yeah.
overview there, you
Oh,
fall down there.
that was the wrong side to go down.
Yeah, you fell into the wrong place. That's
Uh,
where it started getting confusing. I didn't
uh,
but yes, at water level, of course, you've got yes, so that's right. I came back up here. Oh, I do like peacocks. I do. Now, this on the left, actually, I don't know where we'll get to it later. That's a miniature of a build that you can move
oh,
up to.
it's the miniature of the upper of the platform. Ah, yeah. Now you're starting to.
Now we're going to
Now
get the
you're
feel.
trying to go into the
I
water again.
have no idea where I'm going at all. Just spinning the camera at different levels. That's obviously, yeah, this is one of the bits you fell into, I think, with yeah, the various
Oh,
underwater critters. Yeah, I seem to be a bit stuck here, don't I? Yeah. Even a
you
flying.
see, also here always two of everything.
Yeah.
Thought that was funny.
Well, that's the story, isn't it? The myth
Yeah.
of the ark. You know what? You know, a male and a female of everything, basically. The animals went in two by two, the elephant and the kangaroo, or something like this. Nursery rhyme or something I've long since forgotten. Yeah, it's a lovely idea to recreate that. You know, sort of. It's possibly one of the few building excuses you've got for juxtapositioning things that just don't belong together. Because
Hmm.
to rescue them, you have to keep them in the ark. You know, good old camels. Yeah, you see them in the distance. There are some very long chains of animals with babies there as well. Kind of cute. Oh, yeah. You found your way out of the underwater again. I see. Again, it makes the whole boat look huge.
Yeah. Well,
Brad, you
it
just
must
wondering.
have been huge if you
Yeah.
think what kind of animals were in
Well,
there.
yeah. It's take a few dinosaurs on that level, and you wouldn't be. You wouldn't have any room left. Yes, I noticed you steer clear of dinosaurs. So I think isn't there a dragon there somewhere? Well, am I thinking of another?
Yes, they are, but up where the mashes are. But
Yeah.
in here are some dragons and stuff too. Also robot animals and stuff like that. And you find just everything at that time that you could find anywhere. You could find it here on the Ark.
Yeah.
And then there is
Good idea.
um, one other platform that has only trees and bushes and flowers, and it's organized like a gigantic garden. And then you have that's what's the botanical platform. We didn't go there.
And
And then we
what,
had,
this the one that we got the miniature of.
yeah, that one. There we went to.
Oh yeah, we went there. I think I was just thinking it's coming up. Ah, yes. In fact, that's why I paused the camera there. We're in the process of heading up to the full size one. Taking a while to res, which when you do instant teleports while you're filming is a pause the film before you teleport is the rule, but we were in a hurry, weren't we? Yeah. So, oh, actually, that's it for that one. Right, we're getting somewhere now.
This platform I built just when all the meshes came up, you know, all the mesh animals and stuff, and people gave to me, and some I made myself, or I changed myself like that, you know.
It's such a contrast when you see some of the animals that really look a bit like cartoon animals, so you understand what they are. And you see others like the giraffes, which are, oh, well, they're definitely giraffes. They actually look like giraffes, but the camels had very odd faces, expressions wise, that was. Oh, yes, and there are some stranger looking animals up on the top of the rocks here. Looking down, wondering what's going on, and probably just keeping its distance, seeing those ones.
And also, this was in the beginning of Mesh, well, or quite the beginning of Mesh animals, and they were not. Most of them were not moving. If they were moving, they had to be
Scripted
prints or sculptures, you know,
yeah.
and nothing with animash or anything like that. So these some move, but most of them are just stills.
Yeah, I remember in the old days I used to have things like the old duck, and you made a rotation script on the water. It went round, so it appeared to be moving, but in fact it was just a duck on the rotation script. You know, you find every way you can possibly can to cheat, really. Oh, what was this? Or seals? I never quite seals and sea lions, and I'm never quite sure which word.
Flamingo.
Oh, right now, of course, there's eventually there's an exit there too, which I think I'm shortly going to go through live. So where was it? This is actually a platform in the sky above the ark, is it? It's not actually on the ark?
Yes, it is a platform. That's the highest platform. The botanical platform is one level down.
Right. Oh, yeah. So we have got the dinosaurs in there. Now, what came before them, he asks. Nobody knows that bit. Right. It's quite a long clip. I guess I'm probably repeating myself on this one. Let's move a bit forward. Oh, God. There we go. You get your mouse stuck on something and you have to buy it. So this is the exit that we find. And I think I actually click on it, don't I, to go somewhere. You can't walk to it. That's it. Okay. And here we are. Oh, it's taken us back down to the place we know and love, except we've got to raise it all over again. Ah. Yeah, now we're getting to see the whole ship a bit, because at the beginning I just didn't really think to zoom out. Like even the shape of it has got that sort of mythical arc shape. And then there's these bits. as we're going to find out, there is actually a control room on the Ark that looks very unlike, somewhat more modern.
Yeah, that
And the chair,
I had a lot of fun making that,
yeah, and the chair,
especially the control room.
yeah, I did like that chair. We'll see it in a minute, I guess. Oh, there's one document, like a whole chain of miniatures. Yeah, here we are. This, well, not this one. These seats here, I just liked it. It's sort of a bit steampunky, a bit, I don't know. The cat, yeah, well, cats are going to sit anywhere, aren't they? Where else would they be except on the controls?
Isn't that wonderful? Such controls on an Ark.
Yeah, exactly. And these strange, like robot insects, a bit out of place. That's a nice array of felines. Oh, and what's that? Oh, hippopotamus. Yeah, they're big hippopotamus. Is that to scale?
And even mice and cats and dogs, of course, and also the robot kind of things.
Maybe you didn't keep the mice and the cats in the same place. Only one will get to their destination.
Oh, I have a. You saw that? What do you call a black tiger? There's a special name for it.
Oh, panther?
Yeah, a panther babysitting a bunch of little ducks.
Well, anything is possible in this world of the Ark. And that's yeah, and
Oh
along with the
yeah,
control room,
and
they
this
got rather odd.
this
Sorry?
laptop that you see there that I made many years ago. I made it as a gift for Liko, and it's all prims. And
Huh.
that
It's
little
very pretty.
thing, I looked
Yeah.
at it the other day when I was there with you. It was 480 prims.
I wonder how often Lee confesses that.
Probably not so often.
At least you got that. Oh, and there it is. I love this chair. I don't know why it's got the little things on the side, but it's in the headsets. But just I don't know. It just looks like a chair I wanted to have. Where I would put it, I don't know. Maybe I should build a set for this program featuring those chairs. Be a bit different, wouldn't it? Definitely not that chair, though. Keep that snake or whatever it is. When the animals actually leak out of the Ark base and into the control room, I think you've got a problem. Oi, get downstairs. Okay. Oh, we're getting near the end.
Like I said, I think building the control room was where I had much fun, or most fun of it all. Or this now is far, far away. This is a place about refugees.
Yeah. Right. This is the
This
one.
is a Syrian villa, and it has really also a story because a friend of mine, her father is Syrian, and she went some years ago with him to Aleppo, where he's from. He lives now for well, practically he studied in Germany, and ever since he lives in Germany, so about 50 years or something like that, he must live in Germany now. And she went with him there, and she lived in just this villa. She made a picture of it, of various, and showed me what this place looks like. And she went there about a year before the war starts, and there's nothing left anymore of this beautiful place that it was once. And
There
it's
is.
for
We should add that people visiting here, there is actually a HUD you can pick up. We didn't
yes,
because
yeah,
they interfered with the filming, but you
yeah.
can look for
You
things.
can take a HUD, and then you need to, well, it explains to you all in the HUD. You need to find items that you need when you leave your home, when you um flee.
Refugee. Yeah, when
Yeah,
you become a refugee. Yeah.
and like warm sweater and a blanket and food and money and your jewels and boots and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
when you find that all, I think it's not so much. I think it's in all of the villa. Um, Altogether, there are 11 items that you need to get. And when you have them all, then the hut tells you where to go next.
Right.
So,
Yeah, those are great fun. Those kind of things. It's sort of
yeah,
educational treasure hunt for
yeah.
survivalists.
And the place, it tells you, says you go to where the camels are so you can use the camels to get away from here. And when you look from farther away on the land, you see that there are also already some tanks near the
Yeah,
villa.
that's how I did it coming up. I
Yeah,
clicked on the camels to get away, and that takes me to the next sequence.
yeah, no, but what I'm talking about are the tanks. So you can
Oh,
see already that there are that the war is coming closer.
right. Okay, I don't know if I got a shot of that. I mean, obviously, I got the before and after shot of the ruins and stuff, but which we get to in a minute. Yeah, get what you can, what you can carry.
Yeah.
Big wardrobe to choose from.
Uh,
Boy,
uh,
don't envy that. One thing I'm really surprised about is uh, actually the Gaza ruins and stuff like that. Actually, just how civilized and very super modern they looked before
mm.
everything happened. You know, the media would sometimes try and think, "Oh, they're just primitives," you know, but they actually look considerably more civilized.
Oh no, very well organized, very civilized.
So basically, outside of this villa or whatever we call it are the camels. I think I'm about to cam down. Oh no, I'm not. I'm at the end of
Yeah,
the
I went there and I sent you a TP. Oh yeah, already. When you touch the camels, you know where you're supposed to go with, the
yeah,
hut will tell you, so sorry, but you took too long time looking for the items and now everything is bombed. And it's the exact same villa, but all broken and all gray and all
yeah.
like
This whole sort of thing is something I love in virtual worlds. I've known, you know,
and
I remember a performer who went up
mm,
13 levels and had a different level for every song, you know,
mm,
for the move. But
mm,
this is much more educational because it's, as you say, it's the same building before and
mm,
after. And
mm,
you know, like you say, it, it took you too long to flee, and
mm,
so you end up, you know, well, in the aftermath of a war zone. You're probably dead actually, but
mm.
you're dead, but your camera lives on. Yeah,
And you
was
see it's all the same faces, fences and the trees and bushes and everything.
yeah, but just and no sign of the camels
And
anymore,
it's
for
I
that
think it
matter.
looks very
Oh, and
sad.
but there is something hidden here you can still find, isn't there? If I
Oh
remember
yeah,
rightly. Oh
yeah,
yes,
yeah. It says
I just
and
spotted
it
it.
says now you have to look for the boat. You have to go
Yeah,
on the boat.
we
And you
just
know the
we
most
just passed it.
miserable way
Yeah.
to
Blink,
go is with the boat.
yeah, blink and you miss it. You really got to hunt for. We
Yeah, yeah.
saw it a second ago, and I cammed away.
I,
So
when I go there, I always have to search the boat also.
yeah, sort of know vaguely where it is, but I got to wander around to get to the right bit. Oh, that's a bit odd. That's the underhang of the build. It's not really meant to. We're not meant to see that really, but cameras go where cameras will go. And then we're on the final clip. Here we are.
Oh,
So,
oh, yeah. So
I
you
think,
went on the boat. When you touch the boat,
yeah. Oh, by the
you
way,
end up in this refugee camp.
yeah.
And that really is the misery. And I used to make quite a few. I go there with people, you know, also a couple times with kids from the educational grids and from the educational sims. And when we came here to the refugee camp, I would say to the people, well, now you're on your own, and I just left.
Yeah, nice trick.
Um,
And then it really hits home that
and
they've
it's
got to
really
find their own solution.
it really looks like misery in here, you know. These now the refugee camps are much worse, many of them, but at that
Yeah.
time when I built that, these were the worst type of camps you could imagine, you know. And also there was sitting animations on all the chairs, and they all look like terribly bored, you know.
Mm.
People sit there because there's nothing to do.
Yeah, just endlessly
Hmm.
walking in circles around a small bit of decayed land. At least they got magazines to read.
Hmm.
Shouldn't say that. Should I? That's the guardhouse.
And
Oh yeah, the bathroom toilet. There, you are
the
very.
bathroom with all the sinks. Look at that.
They
Oh,
actually look far too clean, but I mean, we won't go into that.
it looks
But
so
they're
it looks
miserable.
so
Real.
horrible, you know.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. As we move out, which I think I'm about to do because there's only 2 minutes left of it, we move out, and of course the refugee camp here is on
It
between
really
rocks, but
is.
it's surrounded by water.
Yeah, let's get a shot of the boat, you know.
Yeah, basically the capsized boat that we
Yeah,
found
you
and
know,
took
it's
here,
exactly the same boat that you saw on the other one, on the other
the previous
level, but
previous
it
build. Yeah.
is,
But now that's been shot down, and the all the stuff in the boats is
yeah,
lying around, being washed up.
yeah,
And I thought it was quite interesting. You said you when you were doing this that you felt it too sensitive to. You had the idea at one point of dead bodies.
yeah. No, I did not. Yeah, I had the idea, but I decided very fast that I would not. The closest to something like that, it was this
Yeah,
doll.
the toys and the clothes,
Mm,
and yeah,
mm,
yeah, it's enough to give the. Don't want to overkill, especially if you're bringing kids here. You
mm.
don't want to do
Oh yeah, yeah,
too
yeah.
much of the horror story, do we?
Yeah. No, but I think it is for everybody. I mean, it's not necessary to show the misery so much, you know, the depth of all the misery. You can already catch a good glimpse of it like this, you know.
Yeah. Ah, this is I'm about to say wonderful stuff, but it's not the right word for the scene we're finishing with here. But generally
Mm.
speaking,
But it's the build closest to my heart, this one,
yeah.
actually.
Well, it encompasses. It's not just the build; it encompasses the whole story too. So,
Yeah. Oh,
it's,
and there is um a wonderful movie made of this, the whole thing.
ah,
Gosh, let me see if I can find it. I can give you the address, but I'm not sure if I find it. I'll take a look.
okay. Well, we've actually reached the end of the films. Where's the other thingy gone? What's it? Of those. So, what I did forget earlier, and we haven't heard the wolf yet. We are going to be running out of time soon. But while we're doing that, so we covered these on Thursday's blog slideshow, but this is just some short, very short for once, clips of Safari last week. And while Tosha's looking at that film, a reminder that Hypergrid Safari meets at noon. Pardon me, Pacific time on grid.safari.org, I think it is, and it's got a long port number.
I have it on the lower third, Mel.
Oh yeah, of course you've got that on standby. Wonderful, James. So this coming Wednesday, Destination 1 is we're visiting somebody called Risa on the Art Destiny grid, and builder Stormy Scorpio will be inviting us to experience the romance of Star Trek's most famous resort planet, Risa. Sorry, it's not Risa is the resort planet. Sorry, not the host. And Destination 2 is Cloudburst Roads, which are on Neverworld. A chance to experience a chance to experience the epic mountain roadway across this stunning sim, either on a motorbike or to learn more about Neverworld's weekly travel club. So that's all what will be happening this coming Wednesday. And let's see. All these short clips here are the two Japanesey areas that we mentioned at the top of the show there. Did you discover the movie, Tosha? Or?
No, no.
I think there's a movie called Aleppo, but it wouldn't be that.
Yeah, Aleppo Villa, but I don't find any of it. And it's made
it's a documentary or
Visit Chrome made it, and it was really great. I can only look for it further. I don't feel like looking for it now.
No, it's a hard job. I'll tell you that. I actually, if it was filmed in OpenSim, I would probably have downloaded and filed it somewhere.
If I find it, I pass the address to you.
Yeah, the link. Yeah.
Tasha, how do we get to the regions that you showed on CraftGrid? Is there a directory or?
Well, you go to Craft, and then one is called. The last region is called Far, Far Away.
Okay.
Oh right.
Given to the search, that was the other one. What was the region before that?
The Ark.
The Ark, that is called Noah's Ark.
No.
Okay.
And was there another one?
The museum was Museo del.
The museum, yeah, that.
I know where the museo is. Yeah.
Type in MDM.
Mm-hmm.
And from there we went to Noah's Ark, didn't we?
Yeah.
The other one was the craft shop or craft store.
Yeah. That's called Craft Store.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really easy
good
to
name.
find.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's actually, if you remember from the camera, that's actually adjacent to the landing area anyway. So if you're in the landing zone, you can come out to craft store. So all this safari of this to Japanese regions, as you can see, it was a bit laggy and whatever, so it didn't make the most stunning bit of filming you've ever seen, kind of thing. But it gives you an idea of the rough layout. And move to the next one. This is only 1 minute long, but this one did res for me, remarkably.
And again, Mal, if you're waiting for the wolf, I only bring out the wolf for the guests.
Oh, fair enough.
I don't want the guests to be eaten, so
Right, no, I thought the wolf was there to tell me to feed it, get off there and feed it quick.
No, it's for the sake of the guests, but it's for
the sake of the guests.
When the show is just hosts, we don't need to bring out the wolf.
We don't need the wolf. No reminders needed. We can just go on for 5 hours.
Yeah. We'll try that.
I found it.
Oh.
I found it.
Yay.
I'll pass you the link in
Discord, would it? Yeah.
Because it's really, really beautiful and it's not very long.
Oh, and this is where we walk through we come up all those steps and walk through.
Oh, it's 7 minutes.
That's
But I
okay.
think it's a wonderful, really Wiz did such a great job on that. I gave her the music and I told her what I wanted more or less, and she just fixed it exactly the way I wanted to.
Well, hard to download it live while we're on, but I'll I'll pick it up and maybe it will show it next week as a little epilogue.
Okay.
Bit of continuity there. So we can go on live next week and say, and as we promised you last week, a short clip from Wizard. Well, Wiz Chrome, isn't it? Yeah. Keep getting the two wizards confused. This is resing a bit quicker, even though it's not instantaneous.
Where is this now?
This would have been the, I think this is the Counter Earth one, the Korean Paradise with Shinny Nakahara. I'm pretty sure it is. Because this is actually the very final clip I've got of the day, which is, so it would have been Destination 2. Going by the date and time, which is a fairly good indicator. So, of course, this was the region that actually had much what you might, well, don't want to criticize the other one, but this one had a much more detailed interiors. Whereas the first
I always wondered how that could be that you make a house with paper walls. What if it rains?
Very good point. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. A lot of, I mean, actually, I think it's, maybe they waterproof the paper somehow with oil or something. But also, I mean, there are all sorts of places that never really see any rain, so they don't really think in terms of damage from rain. This, of course, is now changing because global warming means there's rain in the desert and ice in the.
Or maybe only the inner walls were of paper and the outer walls were of wood or stone, whatever.
Well, didn't paper mache originate in Japan?
Oh, I don't know.
Because when you put all the actual papers in with water and mess it up or into a sort of meshy sort of thing, you can actually sculpt with it, so it becomes quite thick. And I imagine that actually offers a bit of water and damp insulation.
When I was a kid, my stepfather had a great big little train, and we made all the mountains and all these things with paper mache. That was beautiful.
Yeah, I remember making it. I can't remember what I ever did with it once I made it. Probably something like that. Mountains for the train set or something.
Yeah.
So long ago, I forget.
This is a beautiful site also.
Yeah, it's just shame it didn't fully res, but you get the whole idea of it anyway. Yeah, this bit was you actually had the bamboo trees, but you had to get under the canopy to actually see these bits. So I think I was in an aerial view, and I thought, hang on, it's a speck of something there, and down we go. No, it was just a bit in the middle. More of the buildings again. One of the nice lanterns. And they're very minimalist, the Japanese too. I mean, although we saw those lovely wallpapers and some luxurious internal, I mean, so many of their rooms are designed to be just spaces, with things in them, I think. Oh, this is nice sort of walkway covered with flowers. And yeah, try looking upstairs, and I probably found nothing as usual. Oh, all the way up those stairs, and nothing here. And the courtyard bits too, of course. That's they take a lot of care in there. You know that I'm not into sweet foods or baking or anything like that, but occasionally I see people who've made these cakes that are based on buildings and things. I'm just looking at some of these buildings will make great cakes. You know, sculpting the roofs and the flaps on multiple levels. And
for Christmas.
yeah, as if you're icing or whatever, you know, sort of different layers of cake.
The house is the witch's house of gingerbread. Yeah, the
Yeah,
gingerbread.
the gingerbread man. Yeah,
All the
Hansel
sweets
and
on it.
Gretel.
Yeah, exactly. And in Germany, at least, that is, they make these gingerbread houses for the kids each year for Christmas. And then little by little, the kids can eat off the sweets. And in the end, the gingerbread is so hard that nobody wants to eat it anymore.
Doesn't take long.
That's true.
yeah, I still like ginger. Well, I still like ginger, but I avoid the things with sweetness. So, a few minutes after this. So it looks like I did actually have some reasonable film at that last stop. So, very odd. The water is very white, isn't it? At least on this film, it's sort of a. I kept on thinking, oh, it's not resin like here. But,
You film very often so dark. Why?
well, normally
I
these days,
saw that in the museum and also the
Yeah.
other places that you filmed afterwards, that it was like almost like night.
you know, I prefer daylight actually. I think what's happened is I kept getting to say, oh, you got to film with region settings.
Oh, but
You know, but then of course, if you get to an area like the museum that has no region settings, it's probably using the closest thing to what the last setting was. But
okay.
good point. If you do that again, you know, can remind me to
Because
turn to midday. You know,
things are really difficult to see. Then
yeah. No, I always, I mean, you know, night shots and things with lights and full brightness stuff look very pretty, but I've never been very keen on filming at night. I mean, it's okay if it's a particle show or performance, you know, but
well,
you know,
I only noticed today.
yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Oh no, it's gone back in again. Okay. Still more long shots. I think we've seen it. Oh, got 10 seconds to go, so needn't complain. All right. Where does that leave us? So about time to wrap, I think. I'm just going to take us back. I announced the new safari for this week, didn't I? Just going to take us back to the blog from last Sunday, in fact, from Thursday. Just to quickly have a look here. She talks about Liku here and having donated regions for HIE and celebrating Cornflakes Week, which was something else that seems to happen on Craft. There's a picture of Liku himself. Oh yeah, so we didn't get him along here, unfortunately, but she says I actually managed to talk to him. about the birthday party starting on, well, what was actually last Monday then.
Already passed, yeah.
So, yeah, she's chatting to him about that. And, oh, yeah, and they're talking about Thursday's performance of Velakwas. I still can't pronounce that name, which we saw a bit of earlier, but there's no way I can share the whole of that. Lika talks about the community changing, etc., etc.
Oh, but the birthday region, I think, is still up, is still online, and you can still, people can still visit it, and it's very interesting because there are very many things about the history of craft and different expositions and stuff. It's really worthwhile going there to take a look. And
Yeah,
it's on,
these are just some slideshow shots of those.
it's on Jubilee.
I think is that one of the regions we. No,
The
it's not.
region's name is Jubilee.
Jubilee, yeah,
Jubilee.
as in Queen's Jubilee and Torben Asp. Oh, that's another one. This is another show we've yet to do. I've got an hour-long tribute concert from Torben Asp, which I think was. Can't remember whether it's Craft Grid or another grid. Okay. So anyway, that's just
You keep an eye on the hour.
Yeah. Upcoming, nothing more. So yeah, I think even though the dog appears to have fed itself, the wolf, it is time we stopped anyway. I know we're a bit late starting, but it does look like we've probably hit 2 hours, if not more, on this show. But then again, it was worth it. It was really fun actually going with you onto Graft and just be, you taking me to places. It's a pity it wouldn't have worked out easy to have recorded ourselves talking there, which you did a lot of. But like you said, my camera was in one place and you were in another. You could never tell where my camera was. You could only tell my avatar was. But yeah, it's a nice sort of way of doing it, sort of journeying around, especially as it's birthday over there. So. Right. Well, any other thoughts? James, you've actually been quite quiet today. I mean, anything particularly impressed you on the quick video rounds there? Or?
Oh, I'm looking forward to going to explore more, especially far, far away. I think we were there once before, but I want to look at it again in close detail.
Yeah.
And I want that keyboard from Noah's Ark.
Yeah. Right. You got 500 prims free?
Yeah. Oh, sure, somewhere.
Yeah. I want to go back and
I can get it for you.
Okay.
I have to find it in my closet, but
right.
Once I found it, I will give it to you.
So fun.
Yeah, and to do it wearing the HUD too, so you can play, find all your survival gear. It's not going to help you much when you move on, but
With the HUD, it's really fun to play.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's not so many items. There are I think 11. Strange number, but
Yeah.
And it's a small area.
Right.
About it.
Yeah.
Great. Right. Well, Tosha, anything else?
No.
That we missed out or anything else happening that you want to get in?
No.
Yeah, we're all exhausted now. Too long a show this has been. Okay. Well, I think it's where we sign off. So I'm going to share.
One thing I want to say that it really was great fun passing through all the regions that I don't go there so often myself, of course, anymore.
Yeah.
And showing them to you, that was really fun. The museum and the store and all these different places, was really fun. Thank you.
I enjoyed it too. I mean, it's like that thing of, so this place looks familiar. Oh, of course, I bought it. I've forgotten about that.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm amazed that. I mean, we mentioned this last week. I mean, on a quick count, there are about 9 areas that are yours. We only touched on 3 or 4 of them. So.
Mm-hmm.
They were, they were general areas as well. So, but the Ark and the far away, lots of great stuff there. Yeah. Right, okay. Well, that's it. I'd like to thank the right-hand man, James Atlloud, Thank you, James.
Yeah, sure thing, Mel. And thanks as always for bringing us together.
Yeah. And of course, my wonderful co-host, Tosha Tyran.
Oh,
Thank you, Tosha.
thank you. Thank you for accompanying me on the trip through craft and, showing it all. And it was really great fun.
Yeah, we'll do more of that, I think. Maybe make it a bit shorter. I remember at the end, so let me just check how much film I've got. And I said, oh, it's just over an hour. I was sort of thought, hang on, we haven't been here that long, have we? But time flies, just like it does on this show. So I'd like to wish everybody a very good morning, a very good afternoon, a very good evening, and indeed a good tomorrow, depending on wherever and whenever you are. And it's a wrap. We're out of here. Oh, gosh.